Here's 1 hour of Zack Film's craziest moments.
He lifted the venomous snake to
Don't tell me he's gonna eat it.
his mouth and swallowed the whole thing whole. Its entire body slid down his throat, and inside his stomach, the snake bent and folded as he moved. Days later, the man pooped it out, and it was found in the dry ground. Then, 1,500 years later, archaeologists found the human poop while digging through rocks. They soaked it for 2 weeks and found scales, bones, and 1 fang inside. This led them to believe it was part of some kind of ritual.
Hey, bro, this is the first video. We have 1 more hour for Zack Film's craziest moments. 1 more hour to go. There's no need to make poop so real. I was eating noodles. Imagine that person's feeling while excreting the whole snake. Bro, the whole... Oh my gosh, I just realized, bro. Bro pooped the whole freaking log. Or I should say an actual snake. Oh my god. Yo, you know what? Yeah, bro, exactly my thought. Some discoveries should stay buried, bro. We did not need to know this, bro.
If someone shoots at a bad guy, could they just jump into a body of water and be protected from the bullet? Well, water is heavier than air, and once the bullet slams into the surface, it has to shove heavy water out of the way. This creates drag, which slows it down, and within just a few feet, it loses most of its speed.
Wow.
And as the water pushes unevenly on the tip, the bullet will wobble and turn sideways, meaning the water could slow it down enough to protect them just as long as they jumped in deep.
I don't know why I felt that for some reason, but hey, if you're a robber, here's a cool trick you can do, bro. Running away from the cops. Educational purposes, please. At the beginning, I thought the bullet was going to hit the guy in between the legs. Oh my gosh, if it did, I would have. Every person watching would have felt that same pain.
When you look through a peephole on a door, the outside view is squeezed into one small clear image your eye can focus on. Now, from the other side, the same lenses spread the light out, breaking the image apart into a blur, which is why strangers can't see inside. But if someone has this device, it places more lenses over the peephole that catch that scattered light and pull it back together, refocusing it into a clear picture and letting them peek inside, which is why you should invest in a peephole cover.
Thanks, Zack. Maybe I will potentially get a peephole cover, bro. Helping criminals, helping possible victims, perfect balance. So Zack Films can like literally teach you how to like make a bomb. Yo, YouTube, I'm not in educational purposes. I still get away with it, bro. Like just like the video where you shoot bullets underwater, you're safe, right? Let's say you're getting chased, bro. Just go underwater, bro. Is anyone not noticing how luscious those eyelashes are? Bro, they're so luscious they don't even attach to the eyelids.
The metal was constructed together, and children would grab hold of the spokes as they ran in a circle. Once the platform was fast enough, they would jump on, spinning around the pole at high speeds.
Oh my gosh, I just really know like there's been like many tragedies from this.
But the force was so strong that some kids fell off, breaking bones as they landed. Others got caught between the platform and the pole, getting crushed as it swung back and forth, which is why it was finally banned.
Who was this invention? Who made this such crazy contraption, bro? There might be a limit to being smart, but there's none to being dumb. A noble guy, bro. My dad would honestly say it builds character when I come home in 3 pieces back. It does though. It's just might lose a couple bones, or you might even possibly be dead.
They put marbles in a bowl before pouring Campbell's soup on top. Now the liquid slid between the marbles, but the meat and vegetables sat on top of them, making the soup look thicker than it really was.
All right, so Campbell is scamming us.
They were ordered to stop by the government, and they enforced rules requiring all companies to stop staging and instead show the real product. But some companies still paint grill marks on their meat or use toothpicks to hold burgers together, pushing the line without technically breaking it.
Oh, that's facts though. Like nowadays, bro, the food you see on commercials do not look like that when you see in person. I mean, it's very similar, but like, bro, they be making it like extra crispy, extra cool, extra saturated. Tastes like plastic. This isn't cooking, this is arts and crafts, facts. Expectation versus reality, bro. Bro, this is literally it. McDonald's, Big Mac, advertisements, nice stack stuff, you know what I'm saying? And bro, You have the actual burger, bro. It looks, hey, it's still busting, but it's just a little bit sad in person. Oh my, Burger King Whopper. Holy, yo. Come on, bro. That bun is sad, bro. Sad-eye bun.
The silver bar was hammered flat before the bowl and handle were marked out. It was then heated up to make it soft and stamped in a hydraulic press to strengthen it. Next, the bowl shape was curved out by a hammer, while fancy designs were stamped into the handle. And after it was polished and branded with a logo, it was placed inside the velvet-lined drawer, along with almost 1,000 other handmade utensils.
Handmade.
See, sets like this were meant to show how wealthy a family was. But even though only the ultra-rich had them back then, you could buy one today for around $300,000.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Like a drawer full of spoons. I'm good, bro. I don't need that. For 300,000, bro, you can get McDonald's for like, I don't know, 3,000 years, bro. 500 fancy utensils, bro. Like, who needs this?
If you cover your arm with a blanket, hide your real hand behind a screen, replace it with a fake rubber one, and then have someone stroke them at the same time, you'll start feeling the sensations coming from the rubber hand. You see, the brain combines what it sees and what it feels. And since what you see with the rubber hand matches with what you're feeling, your brain ends up thinking the rubber hand is part of your body. So, if you watch a knife suddenly pierce the fake hand, for a second, it might just feel like you really got stabbed.
I don't know, bro. What kind of Houdini magic trick is this, bro? So my brain will accept a rubber hand, but still overthink a text reply. Makes sense.
They would push the horizontal bars on the shaft to turn it, which twisted the thick ropes around the base and lifted the cage off the ground as the lion slowly traveled up the chute. And once it reached the top, they would pull out a wooden beam holding up the secret trap door above. This opened the cage into a sunny arena, which made it look like the lion had appeared out of nowhere as it prepared to fight for its life in the Colosseum.
Yo, rip, bro. I actually rip, bro. Yo, that's just so unfair, bro. Imagine, bro, born in the Colosseum times, and you unfortunately had to fight in the arena, and then that motherfucker shows up, bro. This guy shows up. Yo, how do you mean, like, what do you mean do at that point, bro? Getting mauled to death is just, I think, one of the most painful ways to die, bro. Poor guy didn't even have to get eaten alive at the end there. Facts, bro. Zack films could just ended it, but no, we had to see the suffering. All that work and effort just for it to be assistant to fight in the Colosseum. Facts.
Over 100 gears are fixed into place, and a small gear in the center of each one connects to the teeth of the one next to it. The first one starts turning, which spins the second wheel. But since the smaller gear has 10 times less teeth than the larger one, it has to rotate 10 times before the second gear rotates once. Now, the second and third gears are connected the same way. The center of the second gear has 10 times less teeth than the third, meaning the third gear rotates once for every 10 turns of the second wheel and every 100 turns of the first wheel. By the time it reaches the 25th gear, the first gear has to rotate 1 septillion times for that wheel to turn, and it would have to make 10 quindecillion full rotations before the 50th gear made one full circle. Since each step is 10 times slower than the previous one, that means the last gear would be 1 Google slower than the first. That's 1 with 100 zeros behind it, meaning it would take longer to turn that gear than the entire age of the universe.
Facts, yo. Facts. Yo, I'm gonna let my brain just melted. As soon as he said like quintillion gears, I was like, yeah. Still, the last you're gonna spin before GTA 6. Zack would never run out of 3M ideas. Facts, bro.
If you pour water into a paper cup, then put it in a fire, you might think it would burn, spilling water everywhere. But water can absorb a massive amount of heat, which keeps the paper at a low temperature, meaning the paper will only burn down to the water line, leaving the rest of it intact. Even once the water boils, it still doesn't get hot enough to burn the cup, meaning the cup will stay in one piece until the water boils away, finally allowing the paper to ignite.
Wait. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, I don't know. I just like whenever I'm gonna go camping, now I'm gonna try this exact method, bro. What? I don't believe that. It makes sense though, with all the physics and all that. But damn, the water line is on life support, bro. Holy snap. For those wondering, y'all can read this, pause the video and read all of this, bro. You may believe. No, Zack. No, I do not believe. Exactly. So I have a fellow person that doesn't believe in this. Until I tested myself with my own eyes, I see it.
They removed the lump,
The hell?
sliced it open, revealing hundreds of tiny teeth inside. You see, when the boy was 3, a tumor appeared in his jaw, and as he got older, it only got larger. Now, the tumor was made of the same cells that usually grow teeth. But unlike his gums, it didn't know when to stop. So it kept making more and more. And when the dentist dug into it, they found over 500 teeth crammed inside, with some as small as a grain of sand. So they removed every extra tooth, giving him a normal smile.
That's disgusting, bro. Ooh, tumors. We already have tonsil stones. There's no need for all of this, bro. Ooh, Tooth Fairy must have been real quiet since that job, bro. After seeing that, she must have went bankrupt, bro. Tooth Fairy, boss, yeah, I quit forever.
There's this nut on top of helicopters, and if it comes loose, the helicopter would immediately crash. Now, it's called the Jesus nut, and it clamps the spinning blades onto a long metal pole, holding the entire rotor system together.
That's it? Just one single nut? If that's loose, you're cooked? Ain't no way, bro. That's kind of like, there's gotta be a backup for that, right? Surely, like.
It's cranked extra tight with hundreds of pounds of force, and a small stopper is locked into the gear and secured with a bolt, keeping the blades connected to the pole that lifts the helicopter off the ground. And every day, crews check it carefully because if the Jesus nut fails, well, you might just be meeting him.
Oh, wow. That's a good one, bro. Well, you might just be meeting him is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Meeting him, Zack is so unhinged, yo. We have unhinged Zack, bro. That's a new, I'm not gonna lie, that is a new personality that we discovered. We already have the traumatizing ones, educational ones, how to help robbers and criminals one, and the what if ones, and now we have an unhinged version of him.
He really had to pee at the royal banquet, and his bladder steadily kept filling as he drank more wine. But back then, standing up to pee was seen as extremely rude. So he stayed seated to be polite. When the dinner finally ended, he rushed to the bathroom, but nothing happened. You see, his bladder swelled up so much that it tore open, flooding his body with pee. He survived in agony for 11 days until his organs shut down one by one.
Oh my god. Bro, you imagine, you died from pee. That's so unfortunate and sad, bro. But I said this to all my school teachers and administrators. Exactly, bro. I swear. Them teachers, bro, they would not allow you to go to the bathroom, bro. They would hate you going to the bathroom, bro. And if you're like, what, 10 seconds late than the average time to go to the bathroom, bro, they will be on your butts. Teachers have been real quiet since the job, but I'm definitely sending this, bro. To all my school teachers.
She walked into the huge industrial oven while working late in the bakery. Now, somehow, the door shut.
No, rest in peace. And this is IT Films, and we already know the video idea where these are the most painful deaths. Oh my gosh, oh my god. Being burned alive, bro.
Her and locked, trapping her inside. The oven then mysteriously began to heat up.
Mysteriously, yeah. Who the hell, bro? They better find the culprit, bro.
Quickly reaching over 500 degrees. Once her coworkers finally noticed, hours had passed, and the woman had been baked alive. Now, some people think the oven broke, resulting in a terrible accident, but others believe someone did it on purpose.
Has to be. Was there security cameras, bro? Please, bro. Yo, that is so sad. Being cooked alive is probably the most horrifying experience, and being burned at 500 degrees, that's horrible. That person who closed the door and left her to burn to death was just too, no, not just too cruel. They deserve a death penalty. Are you serious? Bro, being burned alive, bro, it's already painful enough when you touch fire or something hot, right? Being burned alive, oh no, bro. I work in a bakery. I work with these ovens. This was foul play 100%. The ovens turn on when shut, they begin heating back up. There's a latch inside that opens up the door. Someone outside 100% kept it shut. That happened at Walmart and they refused to give the footage to police. What? Bakeries also do not bake at night. She was inside cleaning. Someone turned it on and shoved her inside until she died. Oh no, that's effed up, bro.
2 men hid inside the wheel well of an 11-hour flight.
So, what is the goal here? 11-hour flight? The wheel well? Bro, bro, there's a little hole. We can drop to death.
As the plane ascended, the temperature dropped to -60 degrees, and oxygen levels became dangerously low, causing both to pass out.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. He's about to be the most tragic and most painful deaths, y'all.
Men fell from the plane to his death, but the other man somehow managed to hang on to the iron bars in the wheel well. As the plane prepared to land, he was thrown out as the wheels descended. He fell around 20 feet to the runway and was rushed to the hospital where he recovered.
Wow, at least one of them was fortunate to live, but the other one, rest in peace to doing a dumb idea. I'm gonna lie with you, I'm sorry. This is natural selection at this point. I'm gonna keep it real, bro. I'm gonna keep it blunt. What is you doing? Just pay for the ticket and survive. For those running, the first guy who fell landed on a man's country farm property. He was covered in hay and bushes, so several weeks went by until the deceased body was found by the man himself. Apparently, he also landed face down, hence his face and body degraded. Okay. I mean, plane tickets prices are getting out of hand. I mean, would you want to die though? Like, I'm gonna be real. Then plane tickets are expensive though.
If you try to shake a snack loose, the machine's heavy weight, up to 900 pounds, begins to shift. If the tipping point is reached, the machine can start to fall forward. And if you don't react in time to move away, the full weight of the vending machine would crash down on you. This impact of the machine would crush your bones and damage your internal organs. And it's often fatal, killing over 30 people since the 1970s.
Oh my gosh. The fact that there were more vending machines than little shark deaths is crazy. You know what? I'm gonna just leave that be, bro. The greed that got into these people. What is going on?
The dead person is fed daily meals and even given gifts as though they were still alive. That's because people believe the soul is still present until the funeral. But these funerals are expensive, so the body is embalmed and kept in the home while they save up. Sometimes this can take years, and during this time, they aren't considered dead, just sick. After a complex ceremony, the spirit goes to the afterlife, and finally, the body is placed in a cliffside tomb, completing the funeral.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, what a process. At least death doesn't cost money. Well, yeah, bro. Imagine going to your friend's house and seeing a dead body, but bro's just like, nah, that's just my granddad. He's a little sick right now. Yeah, bro. Imagine after school, whatever this time period is, and you just come in like, yo, bro's just dead. A whole dead body's right there. And he's like, nah, he's dead, but... And yeah.
His mother died when he was born, and he was left on the steps of a monastery. The monks took him in, and as he grew up, he never left the monastery, which was populated only by men. You see, for 800 years, women had been outlawed there, and since the monk never left, he only ever saw other men. For the next 82 years, he never saw a female face, and when he died, he was given a special burial as the only man to have never seen a woman.
That bro got no coochie, bro. Oh my. The monk who remained a virgin his whole life is a saint imitation, bro. Yeah, like, I mean, bro, it's beautiful, you know, to be a virgin until marriage, right, or whatever. But dude, he never saw a woman until, like, bro, I just know his, like, homosexual instincts kicked in. It has to. Bro, if you didn't see a woman, you must have thought men were... Yo, I don't even know at this point, bro. Have you seen a woman before? I think you misspelled we men. Bro took I can't talk to girls too far. Yeah, this is actually... No, this is a tragic story, bro.
He swallowed the olive, not knowing there was a broken toothpick inside.
Oh, no, I just have a fear now. You just instilled a fear into me.
And this made its way through his body, even surviving the acid in his stomach. Eventually, the sharp point punctured his intestines, causing a serious infection. And just a few days later, his temperature soared and he had severe stomach pains. He was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. The famous author was killed by the tiny toothpick.
Are you... What? That's crazy. Just a little toothpick did all that? Oh my... Soy and olive hole without chewing on it is crazy work. That is low-key crazy work. I ain't gonna lie with you. This is why you should chew before you swallow. Yep, with them bones, bro. Them fish bones. Low-key, I swallowed some bones before, and I'm still alive, but don't swallow bones, y'all.
If you grew to over 1,000 pounds, the pressure from your own body would start to crush on your internal organs, making it hard to eat. But if you did manage to keep gaining weight, lying down would flatten your lungs, making it almost impossible to breathe. Now, pound for pound, your bones are actually stronger than concrete, meaning you'd have to weigh a massive 1,800 pounds before your skeleton would just collapse.
What is this? Fun fact, the guy named John Brower Midnoch was 1,400 pounds, being the heaviest man ever to live. What the hell? I gotta see this. Is there a picture of this person? Because there ain't no way. Ooh.
The body of a high school boy was discovered inside a rolled-up gym mat.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
I think I've seen
authorities
this before.
initially ruled his death as accidental.
No, ain't no way that was accidental.
Suggesting that he fell into the mat head first while reaching for a shoe and suffocated due to the position. But his family didn't believe this story and requested a second autopsy. This revealed blunt force trauma to the boy's neck.
Little quick question. Do the officers and investigators just not see this? Are we blind? What are we doing, officers and officials? Like, come on.
Leading to suspicions of foul play. But despite numerous investigations, the case remains unresolved and many questions linger.
That's so scary, bro. What a tragic way to go, man. Gym class bullies never got caught. Most bullies all over the world never get caught. Exactly.
Steve Jobs died of cancer, but his creative mind might have also been to blame. You see, when he was diagnosed with his tumor, they caught it early, and it was a neuroendocrine tumor. This meant it was highly treatable if they surgically removed it. But Steve Jobs delayed the surgery for 9 months.
What?
He decided to pursue alternative medicine, but that didn't work, and the cancer spread. When he finally got the surgery, the damage had been done, and over the next 7 years, Jobs turned into a skin and bones version of himself. Before he died, he admitted he regretted not getting the surgery sooner.
That's so unfortunate. I mean, I could... Yo, what is this thumbnail, bro? Anyways, nah, I could see, because he just wanted to take the natural way. That's unfortunate, though. One of the start listening to a damn doctor, even if you're Steve Jobs, yeah.
The man was found floating on top of a killer whale's tank at SeaWorld. Bites and deep scratches covered his body, indicating that the whale had killed him. His parents immediately filed a lawsuit, believing SeaWorld was at fault. But investigators discovered that the man had stayed in the park after hours and snuck into the whale's enclosure. Because he was trespassing, his parents dropped the case, still left wondering what he was doing there to begin with.
What are we doing, bro? This ain't no YouTube video, bro. I snuck into SeaWorld after hours and stayed there for 24 hours, bro. He was definitely a YouTuber, bro. Bro has zero survival instincts, bro. Yes, 100% death instincts.
She had a seizure and died, and her funeral was held the next day. But her sister arrived late and begged to see her one last time. So they dug up the coffin for a final goodbye. But when they opened the lid, the corpse sat up and smiled. The minister screamed and fell into the grave, and her family ran, convinced she was a ghost. But they quickly realized the doctor was wrong. She wasn't dead after all, and she lived 47 more years before dying for real.
Oh, hell no. Oh my god. Bro, she could have been a victim of literally being buried alive, and we've never known. Bro, being alive is literally my number one most craziest fear, bro. Damn, that's sister's tree here. She extended her life for 47 years. That's a lot of years, bro. Fun fact, this is actually a real story, and she outlived the doctor. Holy smokes.
He ran around his apartment in virtual reality, but the game didn't map his apartment properly, and as he played, he tripped on a glass table. He landed hard, which shattered it instantly, and dozens of glass shards sliced into his body. With no one there to help, he bled out quickly, and by the time he was found, he had died in both realities.
That's really painful, bro. He had died in both realities. Insane. Yeah, bro lost in both worlds, bro. Bro, in both realities, my man's roasting into the seas, bro. bruh. Wow, okay.
He watched the masked man grabbing and dragging his own lifeless body across the floor. You see, he had acquired this special security camera that let him see into the future. Curious, he set it up, eager to test its abilities. But as soon as he turned on the live view, his stomach dropped. He slammed the laptop shut. His hands were shaking. That was him, dead. He took a deep breath and forced himself to watch it again, over and over. Every time, the masked man grabbed and pulled his dead body across the floor. He scoured the internet, searching for the mask. Nothing matched. He double-checked his locks and installed more.
Oh, hell no.
For days, he barely slept. Every sound sent a jolt through his chest. Then, one night, a sharp crack echoed through the house.
Oh, hell no, he's about to die. Oh, no.
It was footsteps. He grabbed the knife and crept downstairs. In the dim light, he saw him, the masked man, holding a knife, stepping into the living room. He lunged. The struggle was quick and violent. The knife drove deep again and again until the body collapsed. He gasped for air, hands trembling. Slowly, he reached down and peeled away the mask. His own face stared back at him. His stomach turned, his vision blurred. A knock at the door. Panic surged through him. He grabbed the mask, pulling it over his own face. And without thinking, he grabbed the body and began to—
Are you serious? Bro, literally watch his future, bro. Zack should start directing movies because this is actually such an interesting plot. Yeah, bro.
In 1986, a mysterious cloud emerged from this African lake, and because it was heavier than air, it ended up descending on a nearby village.
That's gotta be— I didn't even get to finish my thought. And bro, that's some witchcraft theory. I don't care what anyone says. Yo, just a whole cloud. I mean, yeah, fog, but like a whole specific cloud. Yeah.
People and animals of this village started to go unconscious, and thousands ended up losing their lives. So what happened? Well, this mysterious cloud contained 300,000 tons of carbon dioxide, and to this day, geologists still don't know what triggered its release.
Hell no. It's known as the limnic eruption, and it's basically where you open a soda and pressurized CO2 gets released, but only a million times larger. The lake mentioned in the video resides on top of an active volcano field in which vast quantities of magma generated and massive carbon dioxide. Eventually, enough pressure builds under the lake, causing an explosion that releases a lethal cloud. Everything that envelops. Wow, okay, yeah. New fear unlocked, being crushed and suffocated by a cloud. Yep.
The fish flopped into his mouth as he pulled it out of the water.
Do you know how unlucky that has to be? Hey, let's keep watching. These are definitely the most painful, unluckiest, craziest, traumatizing, disturbing deaths I've ever seen.
It lodged itself deep into his throat, making it almost impossible to breathe. Now, despite his panic, he somehow survived the initial shock and was rushed to the hospital. But by the time they got there, he couldn't speak or breathe, and they realized it had wriggled down into his chest. Doctors performed surgery to remove the fish, but tragically, the man was already dead.
What? How? Man, I got a fish. Nah, fish, I got you. Wow. Yeah.
The tribespeople raised their bows at the missionary as he illegally landed on the Sentinel Island in 2018.
This gotta be a YouTuber.
Despite their hostility, the missionary climbed out of his kayak to preach to them. But a young boy from the tribe released an arrow. Instead of killing the man, it hit the Bible, saving his life. But the tribespeople had taken his kayak, and he had to swim back to a fishing boat. The next day, the missionary swam back to the island.
I mean, yo, I get it, you know, you're trying to preach, but like, wow, you got some balls, man. That Bible protected you, and now you're just gonna come back?
But this time, he wasn't so lucky. Fishermen later saw the tribespeople burying his body on the beach. The tribespeople—
Yeah, that's why you don't mess with those people, bro. You don't mess with uncontacted tribes, bro. And illegal tribes, bro. You just don't mess with that.
A man walked into his basement, but he never came back out. His wife went to check on him, but she didn't come out either.
Bro, what is this?
And their teenage son did the same thing.
Bro, okay, yo, there's gotta be like a monster down there, bro. The booty bandit, bro.
Finally, the grandmother went in after them and collapsed in the pile of bodies. What? You see, the family stored potatoes in their cellar, but as they rotted, they released a toxic gas. As each family member entered, they were quickly suffocated, killed by their own spuds.
Imagine having to explain the rotten potatoes. Is that what you took out your aunt, uncle-in-law, cousin, and grandma? Yeah, I think we had it here.
Her hat flew off while riding the roller coaster, and afterwards, her husband climbed over a fence to retrieve it.
Oh no.
He hurried beneath the tracks, ignoring all of the warning signs. But just as he reached for the hat, he suddenly heard the roller coaster above him. Before he could move, a rider's foot slammed into his head. People on the ride felt the impact, but had no idea what had happened. And even though park workers rushed to help, it was no use. The man died an hour later.
Yep, this is Zack D Films traumatizing us, y'all.
If someone caught on fire, you might think you could put it out with spit, but it would take at least a bucket full of water to put out the flames. And one spit is only about 2 milliliters, meaning it would take days to get enough, which would be too late. To actually save them, you would need a giant funnel that 10,000 people could spit into at the same time.
Yeah, I would rather burn to death, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I am not trying to get spit on by 10,000 people, bro. I'm not trying to get hooked to by 10,000 people, bro. That is something, man. You might think, no, Zack, just you. Exactly, bro. I ain't... Just you, bro. You're alone on this one, Zack. Zack is turning into 3 a.m. thoughts into content, yeah.
The alert went off, showing 5 nuclear missiles heading directly towards the bunker where the man was on duty. Now, he could report this to his leaders, who would immediately launch bombs back, starting a nuclear war and ending the world as we know it. But he knew that an attack like this would use thousands of bombs instead of just 5. So he waited, knowing that he could die any minute if he was wrong. Hours passed, but nothing happened. It turns out that sunlight had bounced off the clouds and hit the sensor, which detected it as nukes.
What?
And by not reacting, he basically saved the world.
Okay, now who is this man? Because this is actually an unbelievable moment, bro. Bro had the balls to sacrifice himself for respect. Yo, where's the comment that tells me who this man is? Because I'm not even joking. This guy, specifically this guy, had a pivotal change on the world, bro. Or could have changed the world. You or I might not be alive today because this guy saved Earth.
She saw something weird inside her squat
Oh, hell no. A man inside your... You got a little freaky.
toilet. Confused, she went outside to open the septic tank and found a man squashed inside her toilet pipe. Police tried to pull him out, but he was wedged in too tight. So they dug out the entire pipe and cut him loose. They quickly realized he was dead, wearing only his pants and holding the rest of his clothes in his hand. His face was turned toward the toilet, so they assumed he crawled into the pipe to spy on the woman, and the police closed the case. But he was actually a respected member of the community, even working with the mayor on his re-election campaign. He also protested a local nuclear power plant, and because of this, some people think he was murdered over politics. But since the case was never reopened, his death remains a mystery.
Hey man, I don't want to joke about the dead, but at least, at least bro died happily ever after, bro. You know what I'm saying? This seems super terrifying to be in that position, to be honest. Wait, I just realized, oh my gosh, the poop part. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, never mind, bro. Did not live happily ever after, bro. Live sad ever after. Imagine you're going to take a poop and you see a dude's lifeless eyes staring into your soul while it's inside the pipes. Yeah, that's pretty scary, bro.
The small magnet is pierced into the tongue, while a retainer is fitted on the roof of your mouth, filled with sensors. And when you flick your tongue, each movement changes the magnetic field, and those changes are sent to an iPhone. The phone reads the signal and turns it into a direction, then the wheelchair moves instantly, following the motion of your tongue. This allows you to move, even while paralyzed from the neck down.
Yo, you gotta be a freak to do this. I'm gonna keep it real. Man, like think about it. My man's, oh my, this is really impressive. I'm just stating how unique this is, bro. You gotta be like, and then you turn to the right, and like, hey, that's insane, bro. That's pretty cool. That one stuck popcorn gonna make bro dance for hours. Oh, hell nah. I just realized that's such a problem. Bro, imagine you got like that red chili pepper or that popcorn, and you're like, And then, bro, you're gonna go right. You keep going right over and over and over, or pretty much going in circles.
As they sailed into the Arctic, the water froze around them, trapping their ships in ice.
Oh no.
Now, each ship was filled with enough food to last all 129 men for years. And they planned on the ice melting by the summer, but it didn't budge, even after almost 2 years. So they tried to walk back home on the frozen sea,
That's crazy.
where they died, still hundreds of miles away from the nearest town. Over a century later, the empty ships were finally discovered, and inside they found human bones with knife marks, meaning they didn't just freeze to death. Some of them were eaten.
I can never imagine myself eat another human, bro. That is so foul. That is so bizarre. I couldn't fathom to think of that, bro. It's so tragic that even in the summer, the ice didn't melt. Being trapped in the middle of an ocean resulting in cannibalism is horrific. Yeah, bro, that's so sad, bro. Oh my gosh, bro.
He soaped up his legs and squeezed into a baby swing, hoping to win $100 from his friends. But he soon realized he was stuck. His friends abandoned him,
Okay, I'm sorry I have to pause this. Yo, screw those fans. All right, screw those fans.
leaving him alone in the park all night. For 9 hours, the man screamed for help, but nobody came.
What?
Until the next morning when a groundskeeper found him. He called 911 and rescuers cut the swing off the chains. They took him to the hospital where doctors used a saw to free him, leaving him with swollen legs.
And can I know the aftermath with those friends? Cause are you serious? Your friends leaving you there? That's messed up. That's just messed up. That's not a friend. That's a completely careless monster, bro. Friends? No. Traitors? Yes. Yep.
He strapped the shock collar around her neck and pressed the button to test it out. You see, she barked at everything all of the time, and he had had enough. At first, he only shocked her when she barked, and it worked like a charm. But soon, he started shocking her when she just looked like she was about to bark. And one time, he even shocked her for no reason.
Yo, this man, bro. All right, bro. Like, nah. I wouldn't even have my dog be on a shock collar to begin with. But, yo, are we serious, man?
She learned quickly and stopped barking, staying silent even when startled. One night, while the house was quiet, the dog suddenly stiffened. Her ears twitched and she stared down the hall. But she didn't bark. She only stared. The man noticed her posture and shook his head while gripping the remote. But a man stepped out from behind the wall, a gun in his hand. The owner's eyes went wide, but it was too late. He was dead, and his dog kept silent, just like he wanted.
Yeah! That's a tragic ending, bro. That's what you get, bro. I'm gonna lie, yo, Zack Films, not only is he traumatizing, bro could tell a story, man. I was hoping, like, bro, that was so tragic, where he just kept shocking the dog for no reason. Literally for no reason. And then, hey, it went back to him, bro. Let me see the comments. I'm not barking, just like you wanted. Let's go, bro. Zack fictions are getting more and more intriguing, bro. Yeah. I saw in Dog's Lore. For those that know the context of this, basically, he's a Twitch streamer, and he shocked his dog live on stream, just like instantly, because the dog went into the room. Yeah, he's honestly just got what he deserves. Exactly. You don't deserve the dog if you're just gonna ruin its life and traumatize it. Exactly, bro. You can't just do that.
The cup is attached to your skin, and the air inside is pumped out. This creates suction, pulling the skin upward and expanding your blood vessels. After a few minutes, it's removed, and tiny cuts are made on your raised skin. And when the cup is reapplied, the suction pulls out a small amount of blood. This is supposed to remove bad fluids and trigger the release of feel-good hormones. But the cups can sometimes carry bacteria, and if this gets inside the wound, it could cause a serious infection.
That is supposed to feel good? Absolutely not. Them cuts are, there's no, I ain't no scientist, but there's no way those cuts are supposed to feel good. I know it's obviously like, I'm pretty sure like a small cut, but like, no way. So how did you die? A vacuum.
If you took every grain of rice on Earth to make a giant Rice Krispies treat, how big would it be? Well, there's around 32 quadrillion grains of rice in the world today. So you would need to dump it into a bowl the size of the Loch Ness Lake, adding enough marshmallows and melted butter to fill 3,900 cartons cargo ships and stirring it with the Golden Gate Bridge as a spatula. You would have to bake it with space mirrors on a tray large enough to cover most of Beverly Hills. And when it's finally done cooking and lifted into the air, you would get a single Rice Krispies treat taller than Mount Fuji.
Okay, there you guys have it. If you want to cook the largest Rice Krispie, there you go. Zach is literally just posting every single thought that pops in his head. Yeah, stir the Golden Gate Bridge, anything to avoid using the metric system. Hey, that's smart though, that's pretty smart.
He fired a pistol at the armadillo, trying to kill it, but the bullet bounced off the animal's hard shell. It struck a fence, hitting it at an angle that changed the direction, and it went straight through the back door of his mother-in-law's home. It traveled through the back of her recliner, hitting her directly in the back. Now, thankfully, she survived, but the shot did seem just a little too perfect. Investigators called the case bizarre, but no charges were ever filed.
What? So you're telling me you shot an armadillo and it deflected off its shell onto a fence, through the window, through a chair? Yo, yeah, I just don't believe that. What? Look at her face, bro. Like, I don't believe that. This is some Tom and Jerry type of bullet anatomy here. Bro paid attention to his geometry class, bro. Literally the ultimate trick shot. I don't believe this. I genuinely don't believe this.
If you launched yourself towards Earth, you would slingshot around the planet as gravity pulled you in. But the orbit would fling you back out, speeding you up without needing extra fuel. But what if you tried this with a black hole?
Oh, hell nah.
You could ride the edge to go faster, but get too close, and the intense gravity would stretch your ship like spaghetti. And if it dragged you into the center, time and space would break down around you, trapping you for eternity.
But that's so scary. A black hole, bro. Oh my gosh. Low-key, I was thinking, like, what if before I die, I go into a black hole, but you just don't know what, like, no one's experienced a black hole before, bro. But space is really cool once you really think about it. Like, we're literally dust, like dust particles compared to the space of Earth, or to the amount of space, literally. And it's been quiet since this drop, bro.
His opponent wrapped an arm around his throat and choked him. But this wasn't just any fight. They were competing at the Olympics.
Hey.
Right before he blacked out, he trapped the other man's foot in his right knee and twisted to the other side, ripping the ankle out of place. The opponent gave up, but the man was already dead. You see, when he tried to escape, he turned his head too far and broke his neck. Regardless, they placed a crown of leaves on his head, declaring him the dead winner.
Yeah, nah, I don't like gore. I don't like anything that involves a pain, because that right here.
Side, ripping the ankle out of place.
Yeah, I don't like that, bro. The fact that he was declared the winner despite being the one who ended up dead is straight up insane, yeah, bro. No, I'm not gonna lie. Humans back then were crazy, bro. Like, absolute demons.
He shoved the gold chunks up his butt when his boss wasn't looking. Then he walked out of the Mint building. He would take them to a gold dealer and sell them. Over 4 months, he stole 22 chunks of gold worth over $100,000. But when he went to cash the checks, the bank teller realized where he worked. Police found Vaseline in the man's locker and more gold in his safety deposit box. And after seeing the evidence, the judge found him guilty.
I'm gonna lie, I respect it, bro. He hid gold in his butt. I respect it, bro. If I was a judge smelling brown gold like that, I would straight up leave, bro. Now the Vaseline part got me dying. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. Imagine putting those huge chunks of gold. Y'all saw how big those chunks of gold were. And whoop. I don't even want to get to other details.
The arms would be thrust at a rich man, and they would open up just enough to slide around his waist before snapping shut. The long metal spikes would trap him inside, allowing criminals to pull him to the ground. But this wouldn't kill him. Instead, he would be captured alive and kept as a hostage. Next, they would demand a ransom from his family, only releasing him once the money was paid.
You got it, bro. You got it.
They drilled through his
what are we doing here?
skull and used a grasping tool to fish out the parasite. You see, he had suddenly gotten splitting headaches, then started vomiting and collapsed. And when doctors scanned him, they found a tapeworm larva wiggling inside his brain. A cyst had formed around it, blocking fluid from flowing, so they pulled it out through his skull. The man survived, but if it had just been a few minutes later, the worm would have killed him.
Miracles, man. Miracles. Miracles. They drilled a hole in his head. Good morning to you, Zack. Yeah, bro. Like, crazy in the opener, bro. Like, Zack Films, my man's is just insane. Like, he's so unpredictable. That's why this guy has infinite content glitch, bro. He can make anything.
If you dropped a massive sponge in front of a tsunami, could it soak up the wave?
Okay,
well,
don't work
a tsunami
like that, bro.
carries billions of gallons of water, enough to fill all of Chicago. And to absorb it, you would need a sponge as tall as the Empire State Building. But a tsunami moves at 500 miles
Holy
per hour,
smokes,
meaning the
500 miles.
sponge would be flattened instantly. You would need to build a steel frame to hold it in place and anchor it deep into the ground to actually stop the massive wave.
Thanks, Zack Films. I would definitely use this idea that you just gave me to use. Sandra has been real quiet since this dropped.
He mixed liquid nitrogen into the cocktail, and when she drank it, it smoked in her mouth. But the nitrogen was still active as it went down, quickly turning into gas. There was so much gas that her stomach actually exploded. She felt excruciating pain and was rushed to the hospital, but her injuries were so severe that they had to remove her stomach completely, and now her esophagus is connected directly to her intestines.
Yo, living without a stomach sounds like eternal pain and suffering. For those wondering, yes, you can survive without a stomach. It's obviously horrible though. No, that's just, I hate painful things, and that bro, you can't even eat normally, and food is amazing, y'all. Food is awesome. Juicy medium steaks, sushi, salmon, burgers, juicy burgers, all that, and you're not able to do, bro. You have to eat finger food, bruh.
Poke a small hole into the top of an egg and pour it out. Then rinse the shell out. Once dried, fill the hollowed egg with a mix of ground pepper and flour. Take 2 strips of tape and cross them over the hole, keeping the powder trapped inside. Now, since the shell is so fragile, it'll shatter instantly when thrown against an intruder, causing a cloud of powder to sting the intruder's eye.
Well, that's if you hit their eyes. And you gotta have crazy accurate aim. Bro, you need Tom Brady aim, bro. Some inventions are so insanely unique. You have to just have some respect to the people who first made it. Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's all laughs and giggles until you miss, bro. Like, literally. Like, my aim, I'll probably just hit his chest, bro. Like, that ain't gonna do anything.
$10 million check with your name on it, sitting in the middle of the Amazon jungle.
Hell no. Y'all, sorry, I gotta just point out. The Amazon jungle is, yeah, you get placed in the middle of it, you're not coming back alive, all right? You're not coming back alive. That's just facts.
And it's all yours. You just have to go get it.
Yep.
Now, you know you don't have the money for a plane ticket, but that's not going to stop you. You sell all your possessions and beg for money from everyone you know. Once you land, you hitchhike through remote villages. And when the road runs out, you walk for miles, hungry and exhausted. You even have to sleep in the dirt. But none of that stops you because you know the money is waiting for you. And that's the power of belief. When you truly believe in your goals, nothing can stop you, and the struggle doesn't scare you because the reward is certain.
Whoa, y'all gotta realize, so Zack films could be traumatizing and all that, but sometimes he can actually be philosophical and dude, you could apply this, you could apply this lesson when we just watched to life, bro. Whatever that goal you want to achieve, whether that become a millionaire or a billionaire, if you think it's certain or make it certain that you will become whatever the goal is, you do anything to get there. Whoa, yo, this guy's insane, bro. Very rare footage of Zack being thoughtful and positive. Yeah, honestly, bro, this is actually crazy. Zack out here pushing his fans to be the best. Respect, bro. This is crazy, bro.
If you lay down on a bed of nails,
I'm pretty sure, or sorry for spoilers, this is actually cool because it actually doesn't hurt.
Your body weight is spread across thousands of points. And this means the pressure on each nail is too low to break the skin. But if one nail sticks up just a bit higher than the rest, then all that weight gets focused onto a single point. This would be strong enough to puncture your skin, which is why they need to be perfectly level.
I've seen this in the museum. I laid on one of these before. Pretty cool. Like, it might be scary. And just make sure the nails are flat. But yeah, it actually doesn't hurt. Pretty cool. If you lay on the bed of nails, no, Zack, I'm not doing that. POV in my bed before school now. Yep.
Catch the wasp and place it in the freezer. Once it stops moving, tie a tiny string around its body and slowly warm it to wake it up. Then it will fly around like a tiny pet on a leash. Now repeat this process process 100 more times to create a flying wasp army. They'll protect you by stinging anything that comes your way, but they could also just as easily turn on you. The dogs puked up human toes.
Great way to start the video, Zack D Films. A dog threw up human toes. Does it even get worse than that, bro?
Onto the ground. And when the worker saw, she grabbed them. She dropped the toes into a jar filled with a preservative.
Yeah, okay, it definitely gets worse. Sorry, this is just shocking, bro.
Them online for sale. You see, the dogs belonged to a man who died alone. And by the time rescuers found them, they were already eating the dead man.
What?
The worker kept the toes because she was a part of a Facebook group for bone collectors. But when police traced the sale back to her, they found that she had also tried to sell her kids' baby teeth. When she was caught, she admitted to everything in court and got 18 months of community service.
Okay, that's not even that bad. 18 months of community service after selling human toes. And by the way, y'all, all these may look like fiction because it's anime, but no, all these stories are literally based on a true story. Not even joking. Usually in the comment section, there'll be someone telling you, see, look at this guy right here, blah, blah, blah. If y'all want to read the whole thing, that's the true story.
He hit the ball so hard, the bat cracked.
Damn.
But as the splinters flew, the umpires noticed something odd. When they looked closer, they found a cork inside. You see, some players would drill a hole in their bat, removing the heavy wood and replacing it with a much lighter piece of cork. And this made the bat swing faster. He was immediately thrown out for cheating, but insisted it was a practice bat that got mixed up by accident. Now, this player was known for hitting over 500 home runs, so fans were left wondering if his entire career was all just a sham.
Sammy Sosa? Wait, that's kind of crazy, bro. Well, he says corkbacks are worse and he broke 2 bats while at the plate. The first one was fine, but the second one that the boy gave him was cork, so it definitely was an accident. Wow. And here's the investigation of the truth. Basically, blah, blah. He's innocent. Nice. He got killed by a clothes rack. Wow. Okay, let's see this. This has got to be the most craziest moment caught on camera.
Stumbled back and his head slipped between the rails of a drying rack. He tried to push himself free with his arm, but the plastic tightened around his neck. The wet clothes hanging on the rack added even more pressure. His cries were muffled as the rails squeezed tighter, cutting off his air. And when he was found, he was laying dead on the floor, still trapped inside. The coroner said the accident was rarer than being struck by lightning.
Yo, rip to that man. That is one very, very tragic way to go out. He died by a clothing rack, bro. Like, that, I'm so sorry, bro. You've unlocked clothing racks. Yeah, bro. This is some Final Destination stuff, yo. Yeah, bro. Lesson learned, never trust anything in your house, bro. He died just because he panicked. Oh, he can bend the aluminum rails easily, and you applied force to construction instead of floor to get up tighten it. Bruh. That's so unfortunate. I'm not here to, like, make fun of a dude. That's just crazy, bro.
He left the water bottle on his seat, but as the sunlight reached it, it hit the bottle at just the right angle, and when the light passed through the water, it came out the other side as a focused beam.
Oh my
gosh.
This
concentrated the light, causing the seat to burn, and the man only noticed when he saw the smoke, meaning you should never leave bottled water in the sun.
I knew a fear unlocked because I be doing that sometimes, bro. That is a definitely wow. Okay, yeah. I wonder how many people leave water bottles in their car. Average Final Destination plot escape. Wow, the irony of a water bottle starting a fire. Yeah, bro, like literally, like water just don't start fires, man. But like a water bottle.
As the plane climbs higher, the air inside your body pushes against your eardrums until it feels like they're about to burst. That's because the pressure outside drops fast, and this affects the pocket of air behind your eardrum, causing a pressure difference that stretches it outwards. But before it does actually burst, a tube connected to your throat balances the pressure by releasing air with a pop. And when you go lower, your eardrum is pushed inwards until the tube pops air back in.
So that's why that happens. I was always questioning, like, whenever you go on a plane, like your hearing is like muffled or like it's like weird, you know what I mean? Fun fact, babies have trouble balancing the pressure in their ears, so they are an uncommon sensation in the ears, which usually makes them cry. Oh wow, no wonder why you hear countless babies crying on an airplane. The dog that fetched a live grenade. Ain't no way this is real. But nah, these are real. The only time Zack Films will tell you like a fake story if he puts fiction into the title.
They threw a live grenade into the field where they were training, but their dog thought it was just another game of catch. He ran into the field, picking it up.
No, please, good ending. Please, good ending. No, not a poor German Shepherd.
They screamed and waved their arms, desperately trying to stop the dog as it raced towards them.
That's a live bomb coming at you, bro. That's just a bomb.
Threw rocks at him to scare him off. He paused, confused, tail still wagging. Then the grenade exploded. The dog was blown to pieces right in front of them.
No, who put the dog there in the first place? That person who did that? You're responsible, man. That's so sad, man. Can you imagine how good they feel after failing to stop the dog? Yeah, exactly. Like, that's just so hard to like decide at the moment, because you obviously don't want to go to the dog or else you're gonna be blown up by yourself, man. This is why you never let your dog loose when you're throwing grenades. Like, bro, an innocent and loyal dog just doing his job. No, why you gotta make it worse, man? He saw it too. The dog sat down, confused, and just wagged his tail, thinking it was like trying to understand the situation, but no, blows up. That's so sad.
You would wear a clear plastic dome over your head while running, and inside, small plants sit
Cactus? Hell nah!
Mounted around the rim, while microphones and speakers allow you to talk through the dome. As you breathe, the plants absorb your carbon dioxide and release oxygen back into the helmet. Now, this was designed to work as a tiny greenhouse to recycle your breath, but the few plants inside can't make enough oxygen to replace what you're breathing, and the sealed dome would just fog up, while any movement could cause the plants to fall on your face, meaning it was never made.
I'm about to say, because that sounds like the most dumbest thing I've ever seen ever, bro. The plants have to be cacti? Yeah, bro. Bro's about so bad it caused him to faint, bro.
He crawled inside the dinosaur statue, but as he did, he slipped, falling headfirst into its leg.
Yo, that is crazy, bro.
He struggled to get out, but he was stuck upside down, and he slowly suffocated inside. It was only 2 days later that people noticed a bad smell, and when they peeked through a crack, they saw the man's dead body. Rescuers had to cut the leg open to pull him out, but no one knows for sure why he was in there.
This is literally like the Nutty Putty Cave incident. Yeah, bro, literally. Even after 65 million years, he still found his way inside a dinosaur's stomach, bro. Wow, bro. Wow. What the heck? Here's the comment, y'all. For those who don't know, y'all can pause if you like to see the whole thing. But dude, that's tragic, man. Dying in a dinosaur statue?
They lit the fluid pouring from the cannon, which blasted liquid fire toward the enemy ship.
Liquid fire?
But as they threw water on it, the flames only got bigger.
Oh no, that's oil, right?
Greek fire stuck to anything it landed on,
and
it could even burn on the sea. So they launched jars of it at other ships and even pumped it through small hoses like flamethrowers.
What the
heck? The recipe was so secret that legend says when a man tried to leak it, he burst into flames and died. To this day, we still don't know how it was made.
That's crazy, bro. That's like some video game, man. I just read that apparently Greek fire was so terrifying that enemy's crew sometimes surrendered at just the sight of the siphons being prepared. Wow.
While hiking, the boy began pointing at the air, saying he saw snowmen and Kermit the Frog. His dad tried to get him to focus, but he turned and walked toward the edge.
Y'all, I'm gonna save y'all from traumatizing content because, bro, yeah, he walked up a 120. Dude,
If you say a curse word, your parrot could repeat the word back perfectly. And if it escapes, it could teach other birds the curse word. You see, parrots naturally copy the sounds they hear the most. And in the wild, showing off new calls makes them seem smarter. Soon, other birds will quickly copy the words and even teach them to their babies. Meaning entire flocks might end up learning your favorite curse word.
Wow. Okay, that would be crazy. Bro just actually made the best prank idea to do on the whole city. Why is your parent so racist?
As she yawned, the round end of her jawbone...
So I can't yawn anymore? I'm sorry, I know I didn't even finish the video, but like, Yo, these are just the craziest moments caught on camera, y'all, because
slid out of its socket, and the muscles around it pulled tight, but couldn't push the bone back in place, leaving her jaw stuck wide open. At the hospital, doctors took x-rays and saw the joint was dislocated. She waited for hours, jaw still hanging open, until they finally sedated her. Then 4 doctors pushed and pulled until the bone finally popped back into its socket.
good thing she was sedated, because that was crazy. Push and pull a bone that far, y'all. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Oh, hell no. So right now it's here, and it has to get to here, and this is the most difficult part at this peak. Oh, hell no. She was flabbergasted. I'm afraid of yawning. That's exactly, bro. New fear, locked by yawning. Yeah, I'm actually scared to yawn now. I'm a yawn softly, bro. I'm a yawn close on my mouth, because ain't no way that's not, no. Yeah, yo, Zack feels is traumatizing.
As she cries, her tears fall down into the tube and are dropped into the gun. When she turns the valve, a CO2 canister releases gas, freezing the tears into tiny balls of ice. And when the trigger is pulled, a spring would shoot the tear bullets like an actual gun. You see, a while back, she had a stressful meeting with her mentor, and she burst out crying. And she was so upset that she wished she could shoot him with her tears. So she designed this tear gun, and when it was finished, the mentor agreed to let her shoot him.
Wow, that's some crazy energy. Wow.
As he reached for his next move, he was actually waiting for a signal from his teammate. You see, one player outside used a computer to find the best moves. He sent them as coded numbers by text, and another player inside received the messages. Now, each table in the hall represented a square on the chessboard, so when the message came through, another player would go sit at that table that matched the square, secretly showing the move to the player without saying a word. At first, their results looked like genius, but once investigators found the text, all of the cheaters were suspended.
That's some crazy next level stuff, bro. I ain't even mad at them. That is some dedication to cheat at the chess Olympiad. Bro, that's crazy. That level of dedication students have to not study. Pretty much, bro. I swear, most students nowadays take all their energy to actually cheat and to study. And I'm not mad at them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not, because usually it's easier to cheat, but when it comes to test time, yeah, I don't know about that. But still, that's crazy.
They bolted the metal feet under the building, then made them walk with hydraulic tubes. Half the feet would lift, while the other half would slide forward, moving the whole thing inch by inch. You see, a new mall was supposed to replace this old school building, but instead of demolishing it, they just made it walk around the corner. And after 18 days and 200 feet of walking, it came to rest in its new location.
It's pretty cool. Back in my day, our school walked to school. That's so funny, bro. I'm really thinking about it. A little school literally walked. You know how impressive that is? That's so impressive. Like, that's just so cool.
The soldier would inflate the balloon, and a plane would fly in low, catching the rope with a V-shaped hook, before suddenly flying upwards. This would yank the person off the ground at over 100 miles per hour, lifting the cable 500 feet into the air and escaping the enemy.
Okay, yeah, man, that's insane.
He drove straight through the fence of the burning house before running inside to save the dog. Now, he came out triumphantly with the dog in his arms, but the neighbors who watched the scene just stood there, confused. This was because there was no fire, just a man who crashed his car and stole a dog. You see, it turns out he had taken a bunch of drugs beforehand, and this caused him to hallucinate, convincing him that his neighbor's house was on fire. They called the police and he was arrested.
Cute dog that's licking him, bro. Bro wanted to be here, but ended up becoming a thief.
They painted giant eyes on the cow's butt and let it graze in the field. You see, cows are usually attacked by lions, who surprise them to catch them off guard. But the painted eyes make the cow's butt look like a staring face. This tricks the lions into thinking that they're spotted. And when scientists tested this out, all of the painted cows were safe, while the unpainted ones were repeatedly attacked.
Yo, rip to those cows, bro. Rip to those cows, man. I'm always watching, literally.
He cut a hole in the wall of his new home.
Oh, hell no.
A rag doll staring back at him.
Oh, hell no.
Next to it was a mysterious note. "Thanks for freeing me. My name is Emily. I didn't like the people who lived here in 1961, so I stabbed them." It ended with, "Hope you have knives, hope you sleep well." Friends warned him to sell the house immediately before he became the doll's next victim. But his neighbors said the wall was renovated just a few years ago, not in 1961 like the note said, meaning someone probably placed it there as a joke. Probably.
Hey-oh! Whoa, that actually scared. What the heck? Yo, I did not expect that from Zack Films, bro.
She squeezed the hand sanitizer, then lit it on fire. Now, at first, the flame was almost invisible, but the alcohol in the gel burned fast, and the—
So, what are we doing? They literally, I'm pretty sure on hand sanitizer bottles, they literally say, do not ignite. Like, bro.
vapor around it caught fire too, causing the flames to heat up the skin faster than the teacher expected. You see, she had done the same experiment with classes earlier that day, and the fire went out before it heated the student's skin. But this time, the fire kept burning, blistering his hands before he finally put it out. He had to be treated for the severe burns, and the teacher resigned after the incident.
Oh, wait, that's actually tragic, man. The amount of regret she must have felt is crazy. She willingly resigned. It shows that she has conscience. Yeah, bro.
If you collected all of the world's trash, could you launch it into space to get rid of it? Well, we produce over 6 million tons of trash every day, which is enough to fill almost 5 stadiums. So, to launch it all, you would need over 90,000 rockets every day, each fully loaded with waste. Every launch would cost—
That's not a good idea,
millions and burn hundreds of tons of fuel, pumping out over 100 tons of CO2 per flight. And even then, most rockets only reach low Earth orbit, meaning a lot of it would come crashing back down.
Oh my
and pollute
gosh,
the
that's
atmosphere as
scary.
it burned up. Now, even if we did launch it further out, the massive amount of trash would eventually form a giant belt around Earth.
My gosh.
These would orbit our planet for thousands of years, blocking out the sun and polluting the sky.
That's scary. Wow. Wow, that's actually pretty bad. Yeah, we have trash turn instead of Saturn. Bro, I watched Wall-E last night. I think we all need to watch Wall-E again to explain why this isn't a good idea, bro. Yeah.
As he fell to the ground, he crashed into a church steeple where his parachute got caught. And as he tried to cut himself loose, he dropped his knife. For 2 hours, he was forced to play dead while the war continued below. He watched as his fellow men were killed until an enemy soldier finally climbed up and cut him down. He was captured and put in prison, but escaped 3 days later and went on to fight the rest of the war.
Hey, that's a good ending. Oh my gosh, and there's a whole actual story to it, bro. Bro was so determined that he directly went on to the fight again. Yeah.
If we pulled the crown and metal hair off the Statue of Liberty, could we give her real hair instead? Well, you would need to shave 3 people's heads just to make a regular-sized wig. But Lady Liberty's head has 400 times more surface area than a human's. To cover it, you would need 7,800 pounds of hair, which would weigh more than an elephant. And to collect it, you would need to shave the heads of over 35,000 donors, just to fit on the statue. But if it ever blew off, it could crush a tourist boat.
Oh my gosh. And by the way, that's 7,000 pounds, bro. Which is like, I don't know, like 3.5 kilograms or something like that. Sheesh.
Water rushed through the open doors, tipping the massive ferry on its side. Passengers fell through the ship, and some were sucked out to sea.
No.
Others tried to get to higher ground, but they were blocked by a corridor too wide to jump. Finally, a tall passenger lay down across the gap, offering himself as a human bridge. One by one, people stepped across his back. And over the next half hour, he saved 20 people. And even though hundreds died, many survived because of him.
Yo, W man! Yeah, there you guys have it. 1 hour of Zack Films' craziest moments. If you guys want to see more content like this, click this video here.